Welcome everybody to another episode of the Average JoJo podcast, Sea Stories. My name is Adam Herrera, and uh, what are sea stories? Are you guys asking out there?
What are sea stories?
Sea stories are generally tall tales told amongst fishermen and sailors. When you think of sea stories, I generally typical think of fishermen and sailors in a dark, danky pub reliving their past lives over beers. On today's special episode, we're doing malt liquor. I am drinking Mickey's. They don't sell 40 ounces here in the great state of Washington, in the mediocre state of Washington. I'm drinking
That's
a 24 ounce.
is there some kind of law or
I
what?
don't know,
What's
Josh,
going on?
but maybe we could say that till after the
Sorry.
introductions.
You're so sassy.
Sorry.
Crack.
5.6 ABV, and I would like to introduce my wife Sabrina. Tell everybody how you are and what are you drinking?
Oh, I am doing really well. Thank you for my introduction. Let's see. I'm drinking also a Mickey's fine malt liquor, 24 ounce, because you picked them up for me. Didn't get much of a say in it. It's not so bad. I'm enjoying it. Yeah. So, with that, I will now introduce our resident rock star sailor, Andy Manis.
Hey, thanks, Sabrina. I'm doing well. As being the classy rock star sailor person I am drinking the champagne of beers, Miller High Life, in a 40-ounce container,
Round of applause. Round of applause.
as God intended it to be.
Yeah.
No clue what the ABV is. I don't know. It's probably like 6% or 5.5 or somewhere in there because it's kind of beer adjacent. Yeah. Drew, how are you doing? What are you drinking?
I'm great, Andy. Thank you for asking. Today, I am also partaking in the champagne of beers in the 32-ounce can. I did not know they made cans this big. It makes me feel very small.
Cool.
Yeah, it is the champagne of beer. So I'm excited to see how much of this I can get through. Welcome, Ari. What are you drinking? How are you?
I'm good. I'm your wife also.
Yeah.
And I'm good. And I'm also drinking the champagne of beers. And mine, I guarantee you, I will drink about 1/10 of this can, and then it will be warm by then, and I will not finish it. And that's
when it gets good.
what I'm doing. But I do like the
straw. You can
champagne
just
of
drink
beer.
stuff, the cold stuff on the bottom the whole time.
That's what happens. It holds it down there.
No, just get a straw and just drink it like, every once in a while. And
You
always have the cold drink in the bottom.
It's easier to
Okay.
chug at room temperature.
Oh,
That's
is true.
All right, well, that's what I'm drinking, and now I get to introduce Joe DeCaval.
Hey.
Wonderful introduction. Like
How's it
she
going,
said,
Joe?
what was that?
I said, how's it going?
It's going great. Like Ari said, my name's Joe, and I am drinking a 40 ounce of Mickey's fine malt liquor. And let me tell you what, it's fantastic.
fine.
And it is fine. It is a fine malt liquor. And it's in the traditional 40 ounce size. I can mail you guys an empty glass, bottle if you want, and you can put it on display maybe at your house.
Right back there.
Put some lilies in there.
So doing the real deal Holyfield here on the 40. And that brings us to Josh, who looks like he's just drinking the head off of a 40.
Yeah, I kind of tipped mine off the table and then caught it like a champagne bottle and it squirted all over my wall. And yeah, I got a lot of head, but I'm adding one of my little grenade Mickeys to my 40 Mickey to compensate. But yes, I'm also drinking a Mickey too. I didn't realize I was on their website. They have like Mickey Ice. Have you seen that?
Mm-mm.
Ooh, I can imagine that would be like ooh. You know what I mean?
No.
They have
Gravity.
40 of Mickey Ice.
I don't even know what market they sell that in.
The funny
I've
thing
been-
is only
I've been all over-
5.8% alcohol by volume, as opposed to the regular Mickey's is 5.6
Yeah.
ABV. So,
Huh.
I mean, wouldn't even be worth hunting down. I don't think, but Mickey's is definitely my choice. I went to the liquor store. They don't have 40s. It's too classy of a liquor store. I went to a grocery store and all they had was Steel Reserve.
Yeah.
In a plastic bottle. I was like, nah. But like I said, I've always scoped out where the Mickeys are. And so we have the HEB here, and it's we're a Texas-based grocery store, and it always keeps good glass Mickey's
little brother
bottles.
was out at HEB and he says it's an amazing place.
I hate that they
Sorry, I'm probably rambling.
Try to change those 40s into plastic bottles.
But I do encourage people out there to go out and get the regular. If you see the Mickey grenades or the little small Mickeys that have the big mouths, those are awesome because they have pictorial puzzles on them underneath the cap, and you'll drink and spend hours trying to figure out how that stuff is and what that stuff says, and it's hilarious with your friends. So I do encourage you to go out and try some Mickeys. Maybe not in the 40s, but
Well, we got a packed house today. This is kind of like the midway through summer episode. I thought I'd get, friends and family here, drink a couple 40s, and then just kind of have like a chill night. Why are we drinking 40s? Why do we do all this stuff? Joe, can you give us the genesis of our 40-ounce drinking experience and front port 40 and all that?
Years ago, when I was a young man.
Oh, here we go. Dust it off.
So many years.
Dusting it off. A buddy of mine named Bobby asked me if I wanted to come over to his house and drink a 40 on a Friday night. And I'd never hung out with this guy before. And I said, yep, that's a great idea because I like drinking 40s anyway. And
Convenient.
I got a 40 and went over to his house and we drank a couple of 40s and listened to some music and, just like, I don't know, party like a couple of dudes would, we ended up going out later that night and getting really, really, shit faced. And
to put it lightly, shit faced.
And then it was, I don't know, I guess it was such a great time that we were like, all right, we'll do it again. And we did it again and again. And as time went on, more people.
It just like started adding.
Yeah. It was like Andy was there. I mean, Adam, you definitely did it. Josh, I know for sure did it. Drew and Ari watched.
I played along drinking my 1/10 of my 40.
Yeah. So I mean, it was I don't know, it kind of was what made it really cool. It was like very exclusive club, let me tell you. Like there was not a lot of people were getting down on front porch 40s.
They would hear about it.
They would hear about it. It was such a gentleman's club, like wine and cheese night.
We also had at our apartment the smallest front porch ever.
It was
like the
had a
smallest
cubby,
like space that we could all fit in with the biggest beers possible.
Yeah.
Cozy.
yeah, but
wasn't the like Edward 40 hands like real popular back then as far as on
never played it in my life.
social media or whatever, where people would duct tape 40s to their hands and then
Yeah, because when this was happening, I was in college, and that was definitely happening at college.
I think that was very popular at that time.
I
yeah.
definitely remember seeing frat guys walking around with things.
Taped to their
I would have for sure, if somebody would have asked, I would have
Would
no
have done
problem.
Yeah.
We wouldn't be able to skip the 3-6 Mafia song we were listening to if our hands were duct taped to 40 ounce.
How many 40s have you drank at one setting, Joe?
I think probably like I over the course of like hours, like 3.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
When you think about it, when you break it down into like ounces and like, the number of beers, you're like, oh, like that many beers over the course of, like 6 hours isn't ridiculous.
No.
It's really 2 pints is a 40, like a 2.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Like 20 ounce pours.
16
Yeah,
ounce.
20
Every degree is coming out.
Your
very
typical, your good pint pour is 20 ounces. So yeah, 40 is like having 2 big pints.
Yeah. So you're telling me you never sat down and drank 6 pints of beer in one sitting?
Right,
Before you went out.
But it wasn't the malt. It wasn't the malt liquor. It wasn't the malt liquor.
Let me drink a 6-pack real quick.
Real quick.
Well, I guess more than a 6-pack is 20 ounces, but yeah, let me slug these down. Keep in mind, like we did drink more than our fair share during the week and any other time that we didn't have to do something important. But Friday was a special time, because it was Front Porch 40 and everybody kind of
Kick back, man. I remember the first one I went to was crazy.
What was the first? Let's hear the story.
The first one I went to at Bobby's, well, I was not quite yet indoctrinated to the 40 lifestyle. So I was like, well, I got to buy like a beer I can drink 40 ounces of. And at that time, I was like, well, I guess Ice House was my move, which I almost, if I would have saw one, I would have considered getting an Ice House 40 to, restart the fire, so to speak. But yeah, I remember I went over to Bobby's. I think maybe I brought my guitar for some reason, or I went to go get it because I lived like 2 minutes from Bob. Anyways, and then like Q and some of the Guamanians came over and it got crazy. Like we ended up at Denny's at the end of the night. Like Joe, you thought like dude was like OG or something crazy. Heard like there was fucking legends on the internet about one of Q's friends and everything.
Oh, I remember Q's friends. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anybody else have a particularly memorable 40 Front Porch 40 night?
Well, I know I was invited or was able to come over sometime with Joe one time, and I never was a connoisseur of 40s that I remember. Not like Joe said. I mean, I looked at a 40, I was pretty intimidated. I was like, because I was always this kind of.
It's a commitment.
Well, that, and I always just kind of resembled I always kind of related 40s with like homeless people or bums, like kind of like the Mad Dog 2020, but hey, that Mickey's some good shit. So, but I really enjoyed doing that. I mean, that was kind of cool. That was definitely something I look forward to for sure. Because we'd almost have it planned on a Monday or a Tuesday night that we were going to do Front Porch 40 night on Friday night anyways. So we already
like, which 40 ounce of malt liquor am I pairing with my shoes?
With your shoes?
Kids, this is before listening to music on your phone. We had a tiny boombox.
Guitar.
Well, yeah, that's a good reason. That we'd sit out there with a book of CDs, popping CDs in and out and everything else.
Yeah,
that's how you absorbed music back in those days.
I'll tell you, when we were hanging out with Bobby though, once you had a 40 or two, seemed like that Hennessy would always find its way out of the freezer.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. He'd always have a full handle of Hennessy in the freezer.
Let's start off with the first topic of the night.
Yes, please. Let's get on some kind of topic, please. I need some kind of structure. I need some structure. I need some structure.
We're gonna start with the rating, and I'm gonna start bringing this topic to every episode. We're always gonna start or end with the rating, and today we are rating
Navy ratings.
You guys see that?
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah, that's really cool, man.
Navy uniforms.
Mm-hmm.
S is the highest tier, F is the lowest tier, and Here's how it's go. We're all each gonna pick in this case a Navy uniform, and then we're gonna give a little review and a rating. Andy, why don't you start off? Pick a uniform.
All right. I mean, let's start with one of the best ones. Let's go with the coveralls there. I see. And that's clearly an S tier.
Any particular reason?
Yeah, it's the best uniform. It was the underwear uniform of choice. It was comfortable as hell. It was like easy to get in and out of relatively. It was kind of like a do-all kind of thing. Like, it wasn't a huge deal if it got dirty because like it typically wasn't really an inspection ready uniform. It was just kind of like a working uniform. Again, we wore it underway all the time. It was comfortable, chill out, plenty of pocket space, pockets. It was good times.
Josh, what's your rating?
On the
Coveralls.
coveralls. Man, the picture you chose are on land. I enjoyed those too. But no iron required, most of the time. I mean, the higher ups had their shit pressed and stuff, but yeah, you just don't want to. I mean, it's just like a pair of coveralls like you would buy at the store, and then it you wore your belt and you were good to go. I mean, very simple. I know, like I said in the picture, they're on land, but we only wore them out at sea.
Yeah.
We were not allowed to wear those things off the boat. Or
Unless you were doing like some deep
It was
cleaning,
real serious.
crazy
What do you-
stuff like in a
Coveralls.
barracks.
Let's give it
Yeah,
a rating.
was-
Josh, what do you got?
I'm not gonna say the best uniform because I don't think it's the best looking in public and stuff, but I would say I'm gonna give it an A.
Joe.
You really wear a belt with coveralls, and by that I mean I'm not talking about putting the belt on. I mean, who actually clipped their belt to where it was fitting like a belt with those things? I basically had a fucking hula hoop on most of the time. At the very end of it, like, nah, I ain't buckling this thing. Like, I'm always ready for the buffet when I'm wearing my coveralls.
Right.
The as comfortable as silk pajamas, and probably just as durable. All that you need is a t-shirt and a pair of underwear. Underwear optional.
Is optional, yeah.
Optional.
The only downside to this uniform that I can see is the fact that it has to come completely off of your body if you want to take a dump.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but if
You
you're
cannot. Oh, or if you sit to pee, there is no
no,
way.
but I mean, like, if you're a woman, you're used to like getting naked if you're wearing a dress or anything or a romper or something like that. Like, you're just getting naked to go to the bathroom all the time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, not a big deal.
I know I do.
Yeah, sometimes I pop my shirt off when I'm pooping, but
Like George
Costanza style. But
It's a little hot in there.
and this, I mean, you can't. These things you can't touch the floor of the bathroom anyway. Everybody knows that.
Yeah.
Unless you're the one that just cleaned the floor and you haven't stopped, like nobody's coming in there yet, then you can leave your uniform on the floor.
Come in there yet.
But yeah, as soon as that water starts bucking out of the urinals and shit and sloshing across the floor for 3 or 4 hours, I'm not letting anything touch it. So with that being said, uniform to me, I mean, I have to take it off to go to go to the bathroom.
Sounds
wait. Do I only get one rating for each?
No,
uniform?
you could be multiple. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Then yeah, let me give that thing an A. And it's a great uniform, but I can't poop in it.
Drew.
Good. It just wouldn't be very fun for anyone.
Drew.
I mean, I could poop in it, it'd be terrible.
Don't poop in your uniform. First of all, Dude, top tier, easily the best uniform. While yes, you do have to take it off to poop, it is also ultra comfortable to do that. But you can easily pee in it. Easy to get your dick out in that thing, right? You can zip it from the top or the bottom.
Oh yeah.
Bottom.
Fucking bottom. Come on. It was ultra comfortable. You didn't have to think about it. You just jump in that shit and you're good to go. Easily the most comfortable, like Joe said, silk pajamas. I loved them, man. Top tier. S for me.
How many days in a row can you wear the same coveralls as an FC?
Fucking
22?
Realistically,
5.
5.
boom.
Damn.
Definitely. I'm rolling the whole week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Depending on what I do. If I get salt water on them and you can tell I've been salty, they got to go. At that
What
point,
was-
I can't.
But you
noticed
had
it.
you had a pair of unrep coveralls. You had like a pair of like shitty coveralls.
Painting coveralls.
Yeah,
Well, so,
painting
yeah.
coveralls.
How many pair were we required to have, or
2.
was there a minimum? Just 2,
I
really?
think I had 5 of those fuckers, man. I had
Yeah.
the most.
Yeah, I probably had 4. Like you
Yeah.
were, I think you get issued 2, and
Mhm.
then you end up wearing them on the ship a lot, so you get like 2 more going.
Did we get
Yeah.
issued those in boot camp? Those coveralls?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Mhm.
but you couldn't trust laundry to get it back in time, so you had to have like 5 pairs.
yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Ari, in your personal opinion, how would you rate this uniform? This Navy uniform?
Well, I feel like this uniform, I can smell it. I know
That
exactly
was the
what it
unwrap
smells
pair.
like. It has a very distinct smell to it, and it smells like the ship, which is like burned into my brain. I know
Oh,
exactly.
no.
So I like that. I think that's a plus.
Oh,
It's nostalgic for me, so that's not a bad thing. But I can smell it. I know exactly what they feel like. I think they're like very lightweight and look comfortable. I know Drew always liked wearing them. And usually if I actually saw him in the coveralls, it meant I was on the ship, which was very rare. So I think that's kind of cool too. So I'm going to give it an A.
Nice.
Sabrina.
I freaking love this uniform. As a mechanic, it was my daily wear uniform, especially my first couple of years in the Navy. And it's just super comfortable. It was good for all weather. Like you could put layers on underneath when it was cold, because I'd be on that flight deck in the middle of winter, and then I was also on that flight deck in the middle of summer, and you could be pretty much naked underneath that. Nobody knew. It was awesome. And it was also the only uniform that wasn't fitted. So I felt completely uninhibited. And also I wasn't concerned about any dudes checking out my butt, which was a big deal to me. Being surrounded by dudes. And so for me, this is, and I agree, Ari, I can remember the smell, because I could not get the smell of like JP5 and grease like out of these, no matter what I wash them in. So this is definitely my favorite uniform. This is definitely getting an S.
Pretty split, I think.
Yeah, everything has already been said. I give it an S tier as well. So I'm just gonna move it into the S.
Yeah.
Josh.
What Josh say about the uniform? Did he give it an S?
Yes, sir.
Oh well, I kind of want to change now.
Nope.
Well,
Too late.
what if I don't even know if I'll have an S?
No, you really like pooping.
That's
and
fine.
these make pooping awkward.
That's
Okay.
fine.
Yeah.
Josh,
Taking off your
why
clothes.
don't you pick the next uniform?
I'm gonna go with my favorite, which was the utilities, man.
Okay.
I still wear my utility shirt. I wore my utility shirt the other day.
These are dungarees, by the way.
Or dungarees, excuse me.
What none of us
no.
wore.
Oh,
These are dungarees. This is
Okay.
our utility.
Utilities.
Different.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't
And, bell
experience
bottoms.
dungarees.
Josh, why don't you start it off then? Tell us your opinion and give us a rating.
I like the utilities because I like the shirt because it was like it was like a work shirt, so it was kind of tailored to the body. It wasn't like loose and baggy like the coveralls are.
He felt good in these.
Yeah, and then you had those cool pants. I don't know. I kind of dress like that now. I know. I enjoy that type of wear, and I really enjoy. I don't know. I just enjoyed it. That was the one uniform that we probably wore the most. I would imagine. I don't know. Out of all of us, it's probably the utilities. Probably the one we wore the most. I always had inspection utilities set to the side that we always wore in for inspections. Maybe I don't know if y'all believe that or not.
No.
I don't know. It's a versatile uniform. I was kind of upset they got away with they got away from them. They just look good. The embroidery, the how the patches and stuff looked. They were just a sharp looking uniform. I thought they were a sharp looking working uniform. I'm sorry, I've spent all I can elaborate on.
What do you rate it at?
Dude, that's my favorite. I'm gonna go with an S on that one.
All right.
Joe.
I have things that I appreciate about this, and then Josh brings up a lot of other good points that make me appreciate the uniform even more. I don't know. It's kind of just a clean look, unless you're filthy. Deck Seaman, I'm looking at you guys, but the pants weren't uncomfortable. The shirt was not uncomfortable, and you get the sleeves lopped off of them, and then like as soon as you get off the ship or you get to your car and you untuck your shirt, dude, yeah. I wore my utilities. I'd wear my utilities until like 6 o'clock at night, sometimes 7 o'clock. Go home and sit on the couch and just chill out of my utilities. Kick my boots off, maybe.
At least the pants and the white
pants,
shirt,
But the belt was getting loosened up. The shirt was getting untucked. Shit, utilities. I kind of like them, I guess. And I think the last time I had on my utility shirt was when I was like 31, maybe. And it fit pretty snugly. Now I don't think that some bitch is getting anywhere near me. I still have it. I still have I still have some coveralls too, by the way. But I just never slap them on to see what's gonna get out in the yard or anything. I think it'd be kind of weird.
What are we rating this at?
I'm not giving it an S. I can't do that. And if I got it, I'm gonna give it a B.
Man, think about all the cool pewter belt buckles you could get and stuff like that.
The fact that the pants can be used as a flotation device, give me an A.
You can do that with the other uniforms.
Drew, go for it, dude.
All right. So this uniform, it is I don't know, it's not good looking. Come on, man. This shit is not good looking. You look like some sort of fucking mechanic that doesn't, I don't even know.
Works on a $1 billion machine.
However, I mean, let's be honest, how many times have we drank 40s in half of this uniform, right? So there's a lot of nostalgia. We wore this all the time in port. I mean, it makes, I'll tell you what, a great Halloween costume for shipwreck. So based on that alone and the nostalgia factor of the dress down of this one was super cool. I think I felt like a kind of like James Dean, just having the white shirt, the slacks and the boots, drinking a 40. I'm gonna give it a C, but because it's not good looking. It really is not a good looking uniform, but it's practical, it's comfortable, and yeah, I mean, we wore it too much. I never had short sleeves though. I always had long.
Yeah, that was a big deal, wasn't it?
You couldn't really.
Some commands wouldn't allow it,
or ship because of you couldn't wear it for firefighting.
That's
right.
what
But
it was.
other
yeah.
people, I remember like maybe it was in school that I remember that or something.
Yeah.
I don't remember,
Yeah,
but
like school
Look,
training
I
commands could do it.
never had a pair of short sleeve utilities.
If you got good at rolling your sleeves up, you'd look pretty fucking tough with your
Yeah.
sleeves rolled up on this uniform too.
Yeah.
I like to go for just a half roll up my forearms, so it looked like I was like pumping up iron and shit, but really I was like, I don't know, twisting knobs or something,
Ari,
changing light bulbs.
Ari.
Okay, so I also feel like this uniform smells exactly like the coveralls. So that's my rating on that. It smells like the ship. I feel like Drew was in these pants and a white shirt all the time.
Yeah.
I definitely borrowed a lot of those belts for various other things that I used this belt all the time myself because you could size it however you wanted. Like you could make it however. So
Right.
like if
Exactly.
so I would borrow I have pictures of me in like normal clothes, but this belt or the white belt. But yeah, I don't know. It's not like the most attractive uniform, but I do like the like after hours version of the utilities. So I'm gonna give it a B.
Sabrina.
So my boot camp wave was the first wave that didn't get issued this uniform. So I never had to touch it, but I saw them because they, you get that transition period time. I never dealt with it myself. It seemed like a lot more work than the NWUs or the coveralls, which were our go-tos and for our daily wear. And I don't think it's like the most attractive uniform, but it's not terrible. I'm pretty neutral about it, so I think I'm just gonna call it short and give it a C. I would also like to
What were some of the difference in the female? Was there a bunch of a difference between the male and the females on these?
It didn't look like it
Yeah.
compared to like, because when I went to A school and stuff, there were people there that had them still, and it looked like the exact same clothing that might have just been like wider on the hips for the pants or something like that.
Right.
Where did you get this
Because most of the
picture?
uniforms did that. The like the NWUs and stuff like that, they all had, it was almost exactly the same as the males. It's just they kind of, actually I think it was exactly the same as the males because they all had that little bell at the bottom of the blouse. Anyways, I'm giving this a C, but I did want to say that when we were in boot camp, we learned how to use our coveralls as a flotation device. So you were covered. No worries.
That's why they call them coveralls.
God, couldn't you imagine going overboard with your utilities and being like, "Oh shit, I need my coveralls to make a flotation device."
Yeah.
I just want to say that as far as the utilities, like I like them a lot. I think they look nice from a military application. And when this is a import working uniform, and like when you're doing like promotions, awards and stuff, like a star-struck utility uniform looks fucking nice as hell. It's crisp, sharp edges, shined up boots. I think that's a sharp looking fucking uniform. And because of that, I'm giving it an A. Andy?
Yeah, so this uniform kind of sucked like a lot. You wore the shit out of it. This was, you wore it most of the time at boot camp. Sure was easy to like iron and press up, and it would look decent, when you got like good creases and stuff going on in it. But basically the Navy said, hey, we had the Dungarees and those were really good. What if we took the look and then made it way less durable and kind of suck? They had like the durability of like -5. They tore at a fucking, if you looked at a sharp edge, You know, the pants would wear out or whatever, like you kneeled, down to like pick up something, and then your knees were scuffed and like never returned back to normal.
Yeah, a lot of work.
I want to say that like when we were doing like the boot camp swim qual and all, like that it was a dungaree pant, not those pants that we used for flotation, but I could be wrong. So I'm not sure exactly, like, because these were like fairly new when we went through in like 2000, 2001, I want to say. These kind of like, the other instructors and stuff I remember that we had remember the dungarees said these were more like the prison uniform, but so were the dungarees. It was a prison uniform, for sure. It was kind of the stigma to it. I don't know, like, it was simple though, so like that was decent. I remember once having to buy like a new utility shirt for a DITS inspection, accidentally bought a fucking short sleeve one, which did me no fucking good because you couldn't wear that for the inspection. So that was like a waste of like $30 between getting a crow and name tapes and everything else put on that thing. And I don't think I ever ended up wearing that utility shirt. Like, it was a lost cause. Because it wasn't like I ever went to shore duty for instructor duty or anything like that. Yeah, I think probably C's probably about right, I guess.
So collectively, that's about between a B and a C, averaging out. Joe, pick the next uniform.
Let's go to the gold top.
The PT uniform.
This
PT
one?
uniform.
Absolutely,
PT.
yes.
Good for me. Good for you.
All right, kick it off.
All right. It's great.
Did we
isn't
wear
it?
a gold top or we wore white tops, didn't we?
We had white.
We didn't have
tops.
the PT uniform.
Oh, I thought I was just going off with the blue shorts and the white shirts that we got in boot camp with our New Balances.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't
Balance.
an official.
This guy, I mean, do what more could you want? I guess. It's shorts and a t-shirt and a pair of shoes.
But his shirt is tucked in.
Remember those awkward
last
shorts? They had like
thing.
they had like a liner on the inside. Remember?
This,
Yeah, they're like
this
some-
guy looks like the stereotypical neighbor from like a comedy movie that like, hey, want to come over for sausages?
Well, we're not
Like-
we're not rating the guy, we're rating the uniform.
Yeah, but look
But
at
the
his
u-
face. You just
These
want to
were
hate
all
it.
unisex too. I remember that.
Oh yeah,
Sausages?
it's a good uniform. I mean, it's short shirt. It's a short shirts and a pair of shoes. So I mean, there's not much else to really say about it. It's a t-shirt.
He's not
I
wearing
think the
a
short-
hoodie. He's not wearing a hoodie because all the girlfriends have them.
Yeah.
I still have mine.
Yeah, Aries still wears it sometimes.
Oh, nice,
I wear it
nice.
regularly.
I got my sister one for Christmas once. She still wears it. It's
Can we rate the hoodie?
I guess I wish that it
The
was the
sweat?
whole uniform with the hoodie and the sweatpants and everything, because that
Also
hoodie and
have shorts.
sweatpants was that was pretty cool. After boot camp, I still rocked that shit for a while. But yeah, I mean, give it credit for what it does, man. It's a B.
Dang.
It's a B. I mean, you're not going to get fucking Nike to just start making affordable clothing. I guess they could if they, really wanted to. I'm sure they're paying their workers a whole bunch.
So the only time we really had a uniform for PT was like in boot camp and like A school, maybe. But the rest of the time we just wore whatever
PFT.
we
Well, for your
wanted to wear.
PFTs,
You had to wear official dress for PFTs.
yeah.
Nope,
No,
I don't think so.
Well,
No.
I did.
I didn't
We didn't.
have to.
you did. That's because
We
you
were
were
there,
in the
and
other
then we would
Navy.
have like command PT every once in a while, like
Yeah.
once a month or once a week. We would have command PT, and it'd all have to show up in this get up together.
Hey Drew, what do you
You
got?
got two for a minute.
I mean, it's just like athletic gear, man. It's nothing special. I guess like for nostalgia purposes, if we are rating like the previous, like with the hoodie and everything, I think it would be a little bit higher, but
It's called the Smurfs. The Smurfs, is that what they
Yeah,
call it?
Smurfs.
Smurf or
yeah,
which is-
and that
yeah.
the big ass reflective Navy SEAL on the front of there. I'd give it a C as well. It's like pretty mediocre, like you can't really complain about wearing it because one, you're not working, that's for sure. And two, you're just chilling, man. So, but you can wear the shirt. I guess like you're not really wearing it too often because it is like your boot camp, and that's very much a booter thing to do. But I'd say C.
Ari?
Okay, so I don't recognize this particular combination of clothing that Drew ever had.
That's
Like, I
fine.
think-
Rate what you see.
So I have to rate this and not what he wore. That would
Correct.
really.
You have to rate this.
This is horrible.
Yes.
This is so horrible, you guys. Like he has a t-shirt tucked into elastic waisted athletic.
You had to
That
have
was
that
part of the
t-shirt tucked in,
uniform.
dude. You had to have a t-shirt
I
tucked in.
know,
That-
but
Forced
I'm
you to
rating
tuck it
it.
in.
Yeah, I'm rating it based on whether from my perspective, which
Yeah.
is not having to wear this. But looking at this picture, it's just bad. Like those are not even good sneakers or like I don't
those
know.
are New Balance. Those are issued sneakers. Those are government issued
Ugh.
sneakers.
That
Those are the
doesn't make
best
them
the government
good.
has.
I mean, I'm sorry you guys had to wear this. So I give it I give it a E.
Dang.
It's not good.
No bueno.
Sabrina.
I think I'm gonna call this my least favorite uniform out of all those that I'm seeing that could possibly happen. I hated wearing this uniform. Nobody looks good in this uniform. Nobody felt particularly athletic or fit in this uniform because it would always hug like you saw everybody's body in this uniform and it was just nothing but judgment and you couldn't untuck your shirt. So even if you had like a little belly or a roll or man boobies or whatever, nobody felt good or ready in this uniform. And that liner sucked and I hated it so much. The only good thing about this uniform is the hoodie. So
But we can't rate the hoodie, right? Because if I were rating the hoodie,
No.
it's
Okay.
not there. So like
Yeah.
nobody liked this uniform. Was it acceptable to exercise in? I guess so, but personally I like feeling good when I'm exercising so I don't get all uncomfortable and be like, well, I'm gonna leave the gym now. So I'm just gonna go ahead and give this an F because I hated it. I absolutely hated this uniform. I got rid of him a long time ago. That was the only uniform I was like instantly trashed.
This uniform is trash. It looks awful. Even like the physical specimens in the Navy, they look terrible in this uniform. Like dudes, women, if you had like thick thighs, those shorts were riding up all the way to the top, and
Oh, they were.
there's nothing great about this uniform, and I also give it an F. Andy?
Yeah, this was a prime example of the military coming up with problems that didn't exist and solving them to try and pat themselves on the back. There was no reason to ever have this uniform. In fact, like I remember specifically I don't know, was it like the class sponsor or whatever the hell it was? Like our like when we were in A school, we had like you had a fleet returnee, whatever, like a second or first class that was like he wasn't the class leader, but he was like the class
Section
staff
leader or something like that, or
I don't know, whatever he was or whatever. He was like, there was no, the Navy doesn't like, there is no PT uniform. Like, when we had PT back in the day, like you just, even if it was command PT with like A school or whatever, tech or anything like that, it was just, go in PT gear, workout clothes. And then they're like, we should, standardize things, because you had people from different eras of boot camp, whether we had the Smurfs, the white top and the blue sweats and all that, or this thing and all that. They're like, well, let's make everybody do this, and it'll work itself out. And it was just like not needed. So yeah, sure, it's a fucking pair of shorts and t-shirt. I can't imagine the brain trust that came up with that idea. Well, what do we need? We need a PT uniform. What should we, oh, and the Navy colors are blue and gold. All right. Fuck.
Nailed it.
Yeah.
Somebody give this guy a raise.
Got it.
It's EF. I don't know. It's down there. There's no reason for this to exist.
Damn.
Jeez,
Josh.
Andy.
Josh.
Yeah. My opinion on this photo, I think this is some kind of like chief initiation.
Don't look at the dude. Look at the uniform.
Oh yeah, because it's blue and gold. I think
We're gonna
that
judge
us
all these
enlisted-
dudes. We're gonna have a completely different rating.
These enlisted people always wore white and gold. I don't know. Getting into PT gear and boot camp. That's the only time I ever officially got into PT gear. I was in boot camp.
Or you wore
I
those
think-
shorts all the time.
Those shorts were painted. They had like a liner, and they were almost like swimming trunks. They had like a
Yeah, that was the idea.
liner in them.
You still
And
wear those types of shorts all the time.
Well, when you're wearing those with underwear, those are, there's a lot of bunching up going on down there, so it wasn't a good thing. As far as a rating, I'm gonna have to rate her down there like in the D. I'm gonna give her a D. The dirty D.
Bad. Nope.
Put
no
down there
D's.
between D and E. Drew, why don't you pick the next uniform?
All right. I am going dress blues. Yeah.
Kick it
So
off.
I mean, you have a love-hate relationship with this uniform, of course. I think I like it for the tradition. I think it's really cool for that reason. The buttons were always a pain in the ass, of course. If you had to use the bathroom within the next like 10 minutes, you needed
Had to plan.
ample warning to go to the bathroom. Good luck getting relieved on watch, to use the bathroom on these things. But again, I mean, I think they're real slick, real classic. I like the black. Also, you're typically wearing either your medals or just your ribbons. I always really enjoyed wearing mine. I like this uniform. To be honest, I'm gonna throw it up there as an A for me. Right under the coveralls. Even though I didn't like wearing it, I think I appreciate it more now. So the nerd side of me is really, really chilling with this uniform.
Ari?
So I feel like this is the one that Drew wore the least, probably that I saw. At least, you probably had it on when I wasn't around doing Navy stuff, but
Only
He
by
always
force.
told us,
Only
don't
by
tell
force.
Ari that I'm wearing this uniform right now.
No photos. No photos.
I looked killer in it, so you couldn't see me. No, I was
Drew
kidding.
just wore the top. He didn't wear the bottom.
Winnie the Pooh of the seas.
that would immediately make me rate this extremely low if that were true. I can tell you it's not true. Yeah, so this uniform, I feel like you wore we saw you in it very rarely, I guess, but it was always for something like important that you were doing, which I think is cool. I also like the tradition and like I'm sentimental about it. So I think I like it. It's not my favorite of the dress uniforms. I'm gonna give it a B.
Sabrina?
if I were a man, I would give this a B. But I happen to be a woman, and our version of these dress uniform absolutely sucked because we weren't allowed to wear a Dixie cup. We had those weird hats and jackets, and it was complicated. And
you could rate whatever. If you want to rate the girl version of it, that's fine. Or if you want to rate this one, it ultimately doesn't matter.
It ultimately doesn't matter. So, because the female version of this was just, we all felt like we would laugh and call each other flight attendants.
Right.
And those hats are really awful because you have to put them in a special box. They get all bent up and whatever. So for that purposes, I always felt really not great in this uniform. I'm gonna go with the D on this one.
Oh well.
For like I said, I'm gonna rate it.
I think the females y'all had like a little neck thing, like a neck tie thing you had to wear. Yeah.
It was like a
weird
fake
hat.
necktie that went underneath a collar. So you had to button the collar all the way up here. And then it had like a jacket that was kind of like a chief jacket, but it was fitted. And then like the pants came all the way up to like, well, I guess you guys had that too, when it came up like halfway your torso.
Yeah.
Your waist.
Yeah.
But yeah.
It was the jacket with that weird button down shirt and the hat. Like it was just so much effort to upkeep this uniform. And
a lot less than the males for sure. I can tell.
So bulky. Like it was awful. You always had to carry, you couldn't just pack that hat in your sea bag or the jacket in your sea bag. You had to really care for it. So I hated it.
I just want to piggyback off of Drew. Like, I agree. Like in tradition and stuff like that, I think it's really cool.
Yeah.
I think it's funny that everybody has a watch standing neckerchief and an inspection neckerchief. Ultimately, it was pretty uncomfortable to wear. I don't think even in the wintertime, it didn't really provide any warmth or anything like that.
Was it made of wool? Was this one wool?
Yeah, wool.
Yeah.
Itchy.
So with all that being said, I'm gonna bump it up a little just based off of tradition and stuff and give it an A.
Oh.
Andy?
Yeah. I mean, there were the obvious drawbacks, the 13 buttons, and everything on the pants. Which was like you had to definitely plan out your bathroom breaks, but like you definitely learned like the secret of like just do the sides, and that would save like 5 minutes. So and nobody would know. The classic, everybody remembers the bell-bottom pants. And like the only like downsides was like the piping was tough to like keep nice and white. But it's the classic uniform. It's the one kind of everybody thinks of or knows. It's the Cracker Jack. It was simple. It worked. You didn't have a lot of like places to hold on to things. So like you had to travel light, so to speak. You just had like a breast pocket for like your ID card, and like if you had a small wallet, you could put that in your pants, and that was about it. I have to comment on this sailor who's very strange that all he has is a NAM, but he did get dual warfare qualified.
Yeah, it's real strange.
Oh, come on.
And
his
show all your
chloroforms.
medals and ribbons, right?
Or chloroframs, I rather.
Top 3.
It's very strange that he never, had enough sea time to get even a sea service ribbon, but it's the only bad thing I can really say about it, aside from like the cleanliness, some of the upkeep issues, was I remember reporting to Dahlgren. I traveled in uniform, and it was March, but it was like, because it was Virginia, it was already like 90 degrees here that year.
Oh yeah, because
like,
there was a time that the Navy would tell us when to transition to different.
Yeah, we didn't swap till like
uniforms,
April or something.
Right.
So like I remember like my jumper top got all wrinkled from sitting in the car driving down to Dahlgren from Ohio all day. in that heat. But yeah, it's an A uniform.
Okay.
Josh?
Man, I put those pants on just the other day. I found them at my parents'
the
house.
fuck?
Josh is
I
so
wanted to
weird.
I wanted to see if I could still fit into them. I
Yeah.
did it. It was a little tight, but I got into them. I really enjoy that. It's very traditional. I always felt like a sailor when I had that uniform on, like a true sailor with the nice white hat. I know the old school sailors used to put like designs on the inside of their cuffs. They call it like Liberty
grandpa-
cuffs or something like that.
Yeah,
My
Liberty
grandpa
Cups.
had a bunch of dragons and shit or something like.
So
The Liberty cuffs.
yeah, and I know you'd always store your uniform. The whole uniform would be stowed inside out.
Yeah.
Do y'all remember that?
Yeah.
Mhm.
It would be inside out in the hanger.
Yeah.
The pants would be inside
Because
out.
the
top
creases
would be
were in the
inside out.
reverse.
Because all the creases were reversed. Remember?
Uh-huh.
Yep.
Nope.
Yeah, the creases were on the
Sorry.
inside instead, like they were creased on the inside instead of the outside. I still stow mine that way. On the inside, it's inside out. Y'all don't remember that?
Yeah, we remember.
Yeah, they all said they remember it.
We, here, man.
Joe's was looking all kinds of crazy. I wasn't sure.
Sorry.
But
That's
yeah, the
normal.
piping was definitely hard to keep clean. That white piping on there. And I always had several neckerchiefs, because it seemed like anytime we wore this inspection, anytime we wore this uniform, we were going to be inspected somehow, some way. I really liked the uniform. I felt like a sailor wearing it. And wool never really bothered me. I know wool can be itchy for some people, but never really bothered me. There was two front pockets there was two like small front pockets in the front. And then of course you had your inside pocket where you would keep your ID and stuff like that. But I always tuck everything in my sock or whatever. I enjoyed that uniform. The
What do you rate
legs
it?
were very wide, almost like a Jinko jeans. Probably not that extreme, but
What do you rate it?
what do I rate it? I'm gonna put it in the A category because it was a lot of pain in the ass to take care of for sure.
Joe.
I like. I mean, okay. Here's another question. Like, how often did you guys get this cleaned?
Oh,
Once
shit.
a year?
Yeah, once a year.
Maybe once a year.
Maybe once a year.
What's an
All right.
enlistment?
Say again.
What's an enlistment? Enlisted twice. I got it cleaned twice.
Because you wear it for 4 hours and you instantly put it away.
Oh yeah.
You turn it back inside out or whatever. Or, hopefully you're doing it the right way. And everybody's inspection neckerchief. What was it? Just rolled by like the one guy that got hot one day rolling his own neckerchief, and it was like, dude, do mine next. And then everybody just jumped in and just had like.
He probably acquired that earlier in life, like rolling blunts or something like that.
Yes.
Or you got one rolled, like you couldn't you get a rolled one from like the Next or like Gloria's or whatever the fuck it was.
Yeah, they would do it for you.
What's your rating, Joe?
You know what? Dude, this thing commands power. A lot of people have worn it over the course of many years. It's always awesome. I give it an S, man. I do. I like it. I think it's a great uniform. It is
I
the
agree
Navy.
with that. Yeah.
It is the Navy, period.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Nah.
Just for
Hated
time
home.
now, because unfortunately I'm very aware of the time. We're doing one sentence reviews from here on out.
It would be the longest run-on
Alright.
sentence.
Ari,
Oh,
pick your
I have to
uniform.
pick.
You go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
I can't tell what is the difference. Oh,
I'll go through them.
I want the
NWU.
dress whites. Give me the dress whites. Those. Yeah.
All right.
Okay. This is my favorite uniform, hands down. Also, I like the buttons on the pants. I think it's great. Looks great. I like the white uniform because it's not as hot. I feel like it's maybe the blues feel traditional to you guys like being in the Navy, but I think like this is like classic.
That news neckerchief is really long.
Yeah, it's real weird looking.
Octopus tentacle.
He looks confused about it too.
What's your rating?
It's like staring into the sun.
I'm gonna give it an S.
Sabrina.
I also really like this uniform. It did, except for the hat, match the male uniform. So it felt very Navy-like. And I can just keep saying and it'll never end. Or you can annoy me with that. And I'll keep going forever. So anyways, I really like this uniform. Summertime, that means you're comfortable. You're wearing it. It's because you're out and about doing something cool for the Navy.
Did y'all still wear that funny hat with that uniform?
Yeah, we also had to wear, that was the only difference between the female and the male uniform for this uniform, which was why I hated the dress blue so much, because why can't you just have this same uniform everywhere? Why would you do it? So anyways, it's lightweight, it's summertime. I wore this out to different, like, they had that Baltimore sailing thing weekend and like different fun events. So for me, like, I had a lot of fun when I was in this uniform, and it was comfortable, and it had a zipper instead of all those crazy buttons. So no worries. And this is very traditional Navy to me. Like, this is classic. This is what I think of before I think of the dress blues personally. I'm going to give this an A.
Same, lightweight. I think it looks really good. And as far as dress uniforms, I definitely prefer it. I think the blue looks better, but I prefer wearing this over the blue. So I'm gonna S. Andy?
Now I would say, God, I don't know, I'm a little. I think I like the new spin on the dress whites there with the piping, because we didn't have that. We just had the all white jumper there, but I kind of like the nice touch. It makes it more in line with the blues. Adding the piping there kind of gives just the right amount of, like, I don't know, flair or whatever to that uniform. Yeah, it was nice. It was new. It was lighter weight, breathed better in the summer months. It wasn't quite as bad. You had regular pants that you could poop in, or not poop in, but easily take off to poop in.
Don't want to poop in your dress white.
Never poop in your uniform.
They
Of
had
all the
the
uniforms to poop in.
Unless you're
yeah, they had the panty liner or whatever, in the pants or whatever. It had like the things that wouldn't show, like, if you had red underwear on for no reason that day, kind of thing.
Yeah.
What's your rating?
Let's go A as well, same as the blues. It's just different side of the same coin.
Josh?
Yeah, I agree with Andy. I'm gonna go with an A on that. It's traditional. I like the material. I wish I could find that material. It was kind of like a spongy, stretchy kind of
uniform you haven't liked.
Do y'all remember that?
Polyester?
It was kind of like a stretchy material almost. It was really kind of a cool material.
Polyester?
But I don't have that one no more. I don't know what happened to my
rayon or
dress
some shit. I don't
whites.
know.
Yeah,
Joe, what do you think?
Did he give his rating?
definitely an A though.
A.
Definitely an A.
Due to the fact that my hands are always sweaty, I have to give this thing an A, because my thighs were always kind of grimy in this thing, because I like to wipe my hands off and dirt would just, dude, I couldn't keep these fucking things clean for 10 minutes.
That's what, looking at this photo, all I
Yeah.
can think is, like, why is that guy leaning on that stanchion? Like,
right. It's all
He's
dirty.
just
Yeah,
messing up
everything's
the uniform.
everything's dirty as fuck, you idiot. Get off of it.
Yeah,
Don't touch
don't
anything.
touch anything.
you got time to lean, you got time to clean.
Drew?
Yeah, right.
Drew?
I would have thought
All right,
white
so
uniform on a ship, on an industrial ship.
yeah, stupid idea.
Yeah.
Second most traditional uniform, more comfortable than the blues for sure. Always scared to get this shit dirty. Anything you touch would get it dirty. Also, I think that the ladies love this uniform the most. I'm gonna give it an A.
They did.
Ari.
I did mine.
Oh, did you?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. That's about an A. So it's probably
Yeah.
in line with the blue. Sabrina.
Dun, 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 dun. Let's do the I don't know what it's called. Peanut butters, black and tans. Did it have a real name?
Navy
Peanut
Board.
butters, as far as I know.
Yeah. I was like, I'm
That
pretty
was
sure it
like a
wasn't called peanut
Marine.
butters or black and tans. But let's go with that. Because everybody wore that.
No, that was a U
Yeah,
Navy thing.
who actually wore it?
I did.
didn't.
Oh, I
you
did.
really?
I'm sorry.
Looks like a Marine.
It was comfortable. The only difference between the male and the female in this one was the blouses didn't get tucked in. They kind of like belled out at the bottom for, hips. But I feel like especially like everybody looked good in this uniform. Nobody looked like absolute trash, and it looks formal yet casual as far as you could do anything in this uniform, but you knew you weren't getting dirty, I guess.
Was it the same material as those dress whites? Kind of like that
Yeah, like that weird
stretchy
polyester, but
yeah.
it had some stretch, but not a ton. But it was very breathable and lightweight. And I feel like I'll give it a B because nobody hated it, nobody loved it. I felt like I looked
What
really
about the
good in it.
taco hat though? The
It always
taco
made
hat,
me
man.
walk really tall because the shoulders were squared off real good.
I hated this uniform. I wore it when I was in shore duty at Second Fleet. I don't know. It just coming from, the older style uniforms, and I was still in the Navy when they changed to this. It's a khaki top, like
Were
you
they
don't
all
want to do
short sleeve
that.
or was some long sleeve too?
short sleeve.
Just all short sleeve.
All short
It
sleeves.
just felt pretend, and I'm giving it a D.
Well, you looked good in it.
Andy.
Yeah, not a uniform I wore, was issued or whatever. I like that essentially you got some mileage out of the Johnny Cash pants with this thing. I think it looked good. It was kind of one of those, like, let's kind of be like a lot of the other armed services moves that made sense. The garrison cap is a good look. That generally being E6 and below you didn't get to wear. Outside of, you could get that for the working blues, and that was cool. So like it was one that I never got to wear or nothing, but I think it looked good, and I give it a B because I give it a B. Like, it looked good. It wasn't anything special, but it served a purpose. It worked nice. Yeah.
Josh.
I never had the opportunity to wear it, but I like the way it looks. The taco hat or whatever it's called. Am I saying that right? The little
Taco. Yes, you're saying taco correctly.
I've never I've never enjoyed. I never did like that stupid hat. I never did like it. I just didn't like it. I just felt like I was at McDonald's serving burgers in 1940 or something like that.
What's your rating, Josh?
Dude, I'm right now at a D. D for dumb.
Joe.
Oh.
Pretty simple. I don't like the idea of us folks wearing khaki. I just don't like it. Like, there's a huge distinction of hatred and of just common like mistrust. I mean,
Mistrust.
The colors. These colors don't run, man. No, I'm just gonna go ahead and I'll just give it a D. And plus, that stupid taco hat is like a fucking like sock. I don't know, like it's as effective as like an old timey dude's like pajamas with like the long sleepy cap. Like, what's the point of that? I hate this hat. It's always been dumb. Put a fucking ball cap on or put something else. I don't know. I remember there being specific human beings I can see with that hat on. And
And
I'm
I
just
know when
like,
I
This hat so
when I
much
need
because
that
you didn't have to do the ladies the stupid hat.
Drew, what you got?
This is a fucking horrible uniform. First of all, let me just say, this looks like someone is in the army. I do not like this uniform at all. Or it looks like someone out of ROTC or some shit like that. I rate this F for fucking horrible.
Ari.
Okay, so Drew never wore this, and
Thank God.
it doesn't look like someone who would be in the Navy to me. Like, I agree with that. I also think the hat is dumb, and I give it an
F, you said?
yeah.
I know when I was looking for answers to a question, I did not go find somebody in a khaki outfit. I found somebody in a blue outfit.
I swear it was comfortable.
I mean, I don't
If it was
disagree with
blue,
that.
it would probably be all right.
I'm gonna choose the old school dungarees. I never wore them.
We should only
Denim
do two
material,
together.
bell bottoms, and Dixie cup. I just think it looks fucking cool. When I
Yeah.
think of like old sailors working, working topside, cigarettes in their mouths,
Right. I agree.
cool tattoos. This is what I think of. It's I think it's still outdated, but I still think it looks pretty fucking cool. So I won't give it I won't give it an S tier. I'll give it a B, a high B. But
Well, he's not wearing his rank. Does Seaman and Seaman Apprentice not wear rank on those?
it's just a default picture, Josh. I don't
Okay.
know.
Sorry.
I think it's like an
Andy.
Adobe stuff. thing.
This was the uniform that, was a thing of legend, essentially, because everybody's like, man, dungarees are great. Like, it's a shame they went to these shitty utilities. They used to stencil on or whatever, like the crows and some of that shit, which was cool. Or like your name tape was actually like stenciled on or whatever, I guess.
You
And
draw it on.
yeah, which was like, I don't know, convenient or something. It was, less extra money to dump into a uniform that didn't last but 10 minutes. Yeah, it was, it was denim jeans. So like I heard they were like comfortable, like they were useful, they were durable and everything else. Like, yeah, it's the old school, like what you thought of like a dockside worker kind of thing. Like, yeah, I give it a B.
Josh.
Man, I was just jealous of the bell bottoms. I would totally like to sport those still. But I don't know, I'll give it a B. I'll give it a B.
Joe. You're didn't hear anything you said. No.
how about now?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. The pants look great. B.
Drew.
Oh man. I just wish we could wear jeans and on the ship, man. Shit. This is
Yeah.
a great uniform. Also classic, super comfortable. Fucking B for wearing badass bell bottoms. Shit. Right?
Harry.
Yeah, I like this because it's very classic nostalgia. You know, my father-in-law's in the Navy, my grandfather's in the Navy, my great-grandfather was in the Navy. So I feel like they probably all got to wear these pants at some point in time, and they're pretty cool. So I'm gonna give it an A.
Sabrina.
Yeah, like everybody says, classic. It looks fairly comfortable. I do think jeans are pretty heavy for, the summer. Probably hot as fuck in the Mediterranean. But other than that, like, cool. I'm gonna give it a B.
Solid B all the way around. Back to Andy.
All right. Let's go with Johnny Cash.
Just 1 second.
Yep.
Yeah.
Shrink these up.
All right.
Oh, hey-o.
I've never seen these before.
Yeah, nobody ever wore them. That was the problem.
Yeah.
They were fucking badass, though.
They
Yeah,
were great.
Look at how great that is. And you could also wear it with the piss cutter if you wanted to opt for that.
What's that?
The Garrison cat, the taco,
Yeah.
the
That-
taco hat.
It's called a piss cutter? What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Why would they call it that?
I don't know. That's what they call it, man.
Thank you for asking, Joe.
I didn't make up these names.
I've never
I'll tell you
heard that
later.
before.
You'll tell me
I think
later.
you
Yeah, I'll
should
tell you
explain
later.
it in detail.
I think
Well,
this
I
is
feel
where
That
in
would
the
be interesting to
episode,
know.
like Sabrina jumps in and she's like, "So in the Navy, a piss
Yeah.
cutter."
We tried that at the beginning, and Adam got so annoyed with me.
That's not
That was
true
my favorite part.
whatsoever. I just didn't have time. Editing is a long process.
Oh, is that all it was?
Holy shit.
I just assumed you got really annoyed with me and didn't want to deal with it.
Andy, what are you rating this?
Piss cutter.
Yeah. This was. It should be an A, but it's a B because he never wore it. But it was a great looking uniform.
should
It
be
was
an A.
simple. It worked, but we never wore it. Like if it wasn't for, like, what was it in training commands? You wear like a working uniform every other Friday because it was the working blues. Like you never would have wore it ever in your career. I don't think.
Was there a tie? There was an official tie with that.
Yeah, there was a
uniform,
tie.
wasn't
You
there?
had a tie. You had to
Okay.
learn how to tie the four-in hand knot, which everybody had somebody tie it for him in Tech Corps, and then never untied it.
right.
Josh,
think I
what are you
still have
rating
it.
this?
Windsor.
Yeah.
Josh, what are you rating this?
I'm gonna rate it as a C. I never really enjoyed wearing it either. There was a lot of pieces, a lot of, it was a different material that kind of wrinkled a lot. And there was never a lot of times where we were required to wear it. So I really didn't enjoy that uniform. So I'm gonna rate it as a C.
Joe.
Is in the same plastic as the first time I got it dry cleaned back in probably as soon as I got to the ship in 03-ish. It's in Tupperware to my left here. I'm going to give it an E.
Wow.
All it did was take up space. I don't give a shit how good it looked. That's fantastic. Nobody can see it.
Was that the Johnny Cash or?
Drew.
I loved this uniform. We never wore it enough. I did enjoy wearing it with the piss cutter, as they say, but I did not like wearing it with the Dixie cup. But it was really cool because you could have like a tie clip with it. I thought it looked real slick. Awesome nickname. I will give it a B.
Ari.
So yeah, I don't feel like Drew wore this very much, but I know he wore it once to do like a talk at his sister's like middle school. That was his choice. He could have, and it was probably summer in Florida. And I think he picked this uniform because he liked it a lot. But yeah, I didn't wear it very much, but I did really like it. I think working blues and dress whites are like some of my two like top uniforms. It's like this look. So I'm gonna give it A.
Sabrina.
I don't really have any strong opinions about this uniform, so I'm going to give it a D because it sounds pretty useless.
As far as me, to me, I think this is like the dungaree version of the working blues. Like I could picture like just some old school sailor in like shore duty smoking cigarettes in classroom or something all the time. But it does, like when I look at this, it does absolutely nothing for me. So I'm giving it a C.
It is the working uniform of the guy that has been in the Navy for like 21 years and is still an E6
Yeah.
and just like hangs out on the smoke deck
Yeah.
and tells you how cool retirement's going to be.
Josh,
Very,
why don't
very
you pick the
appropriate.
next one?
I get to pick the next one.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3, or 4.
Let's see here. What about the working whites?
Let's do it. What you got?
Terrible.
Plain Jane. You know, they were the same material as the dress whites. That kind of that spongy.
If you got the good
stretchy.
ones, you got issued shitty cotton ones.
Yeah.
I always like.
Oh yeah, I do remember those. I think I got issued cotton ones in boot camp.
Mm-hmm.
Good God, those were horrible to
Stiff,
wash, to iron. Dude, very rarely wore this uniform. I'm going with the C on it.
See, Joe.
I like the toughness of this guy.
We're not rating the guy.
Oh, no,
we're
not
rating-
this guy. I mean, this guy's in the uniform. Those
Oh.
cotton ones, those things were tough as fucking nails, dude. I never did buy the new pair. The clean. I kept 6 years.
You always had the
same ones.
cottons, really?
Boot camp, bang, bang, bang,
That's
bang,
gross.
bang, dude. Because I never really wore them that much,
Right.
you know. And by the time I got. I mean, I don't know. That's not a bad uniform. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm just trying to remember like how often I wore it, and then why I would never jump into the neoprenes or whatever the other uniforms are made out of.
Whatever the CNT was, yeah.
Would we wear that on a watch or something like that? Possibly.
I think every once in a while, maybe.
If
I'm
you
gonna
were,
go
like,
ahead and I'm
petty
gonna give
officer of
that
the
one
watch
a.
or something.
I'm gonna give that guy a. Oh shit! Let's go with a B. I like the short sleeves.
Drew.
I think this is like the milkman uniform.
Yeah.
Wasn't my favorite. I'd rather wear my dress whites if I was going to wear any whites. Also, with these and the dress whites, I also didn't point out, but you always have to wear like white underwear. You always have to make sure that you have white underwear with these, otherwise you look like an asshole on the
Yep.
ship.
Didn't have the
It's
panty
very
liner.
noticeable.
Very noticeable if you had any kind of colored undergarments,
Mhm.
as they say these days. So yeah, I don't like this uniform. I'm gonna give it I'm gonna go C.
Harry.
Yeah, I do not like the short sleeves. I don't think that it looks like, I don't know, doesn't look sharp. And it's just kind of a dweeby uniform. Like the working blues are like so much superior. So I give it a D.
Sabrina.
I don't get the purpose of this uniform. Because if it's a working uniform, it's gonna get dirty, so it's white. It feels like a bad life choice.
Bad life
It looks like a baker, or I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of this uniform. If you're gonna wear white, like there's other uniforms to wear to work in or dress up in. Like, why do you need this uniform at all? You don't. So I'm gonna go ahead and give this one an E because I don't care about it.
I'm also I hated this uniform, and the CNT uniforms are fine, but like I did have to rock the 100% cotton white uniforms, and those are fucking miserable. And strictly because of that reason, I'm giving this uniform an E. Andy.
Yeah, it's the ice cream man uniform. It was kind of shitty. It was white and got dirty like instantly. The cottons were like not very. They were super lightweight, but they looked like ass. And cheap, unless you sprung the money for the CNTs, but you know, who's gonna do that when you're standing topside rover all the time anyway? So it didn't matter.
Yeah.
So short sleeves was a plus. But yeah, it's I'll give it a D.
All right. Joe. No. Yeah, is it Joe? You're next.
Let's go with that. Whatever there's on the very top.
This guy?
I don't even know what that is. Yeah.
What?
NWU's Type 1.
The Digis.
Oh, okay.
This replaced the utilities.
Okay, so this is what they wear in lieu of utilities these days.
Not anymore,
This
but they did.
Oh, okay. And so this was like was this like the same type of camo that we got like when we were like bitching and over
No, this is digital. Those were more of the old school desert.
yeah, they were desert camo, but was it like the same material?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, rad. Okay, number one, it's stupid as shit. Period. It's fucking
This
dumb.
guy looks goofy up in front.
Camo on the open
I am
seas, huh?
Does
All
he
right,
have
cool.
a sword?
Yes.
Yeah, it must have been.
Oh, that's a sword. I thought that was like a cane. I thought
That's
he was
cutlass. It
blind.
must have been some kind of drill
Probably
team.
fighting
something
those
going
Greek
on.
gods or something. Zeus.
Okay. Anyway,
Focus on the
so-
uniform.
Okay,
Please.
so there's a guy with a sword, and yeah, no, there's absolutely no. I don't understand the thought process behind digital camo on a ship, but whatever. I don't. I think that's ridiculous. I think the whole concept of the BDUs are ridiculous on board a ship.
You may see the ship, but you don't see the crew.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
What's your rating?
That's, geez, man, F? No, E, just because they look like they're comfortable, sort of.
Yeah.
Drew.
These are horrible. Also, F, fuck these. Why would you ever want camo on a ship? First of all, it's stupid. It doesn't make any sense. It's just like a lame attempt to be like, like let's wear
Reeks
camo.
of government overspin.
Yeah, fuck you. Give me
For
my
some fucking
coveralls.
reason. Are you serious?
Yeah, these are just like
I agree. It's
Horrible.
Some
disappointing.
dickhead guy has a job because it's, and meanwhile, I'm flipping copies at fucking like this guy. Oh,
well, they
man.
didn't last long, I believe. They didn't last very long, so I don't think he has a job much longer. Because I don't think they
It
don't
lasted
wear
like
these.
12 years or something.
Ari.
Oh, fuck, I've been out for a long time.
What did you rate it? Oh, no.
F. Fuck
Okay.
them.
Okay. Also, like, my time in around the Navy indoctrinated me to also hate this idea because I believe this conversation has happened previously, like 20 years ago ish. So, yeah, I feel like whenever anyone in this group of people would see someone walking around the mall in camo, it was like they were going to have things to say about that, and did not like the idea of anyone in the Navy wearing camo. So I'm just going to give it an F.
Sabrina.
So, like I said earlier, didn't have utilities. This is what I got. So this was the uniform I ran around boot camp in. So I don't know if I don't mind it because it was what I had to wear all the time and I just got used to it, but it's heavy. There's a lot of parts. You got to wear those stupid blousing straps that were just cutting into your ankle all the time. And we had those giant pockets that you weren't allowed to put anything in.
Yeah.
Sounds about right.
Right.
I like,
Of course.
they were functional, but I liked other uniforms better. And
Did you get a
Yeah.
sword?
I did not get a sword issued with my uniform.
Girls
That
got
was
daggers.
So
Shirt in.
cool.
Girls got daggers.
The hats were,
Better.
I hated the hats too because you couldn't keep them from crinkling. We didn't wear ball caps. I don't know why these guys are wearing ball caps. Probably the command, I guess. But yeah, I'm gonna give this like I don't know, B, just because this is what I wore all the time and I got really comfortable in it, but it did have a lot of drawbacks.
Unfortunately, I did have to transfer to this uniform, and so I'll go on a tiny little bit of a rant. If Andy gets
One
a rant,
sentence.
I get a rant. What I like about the Navy is that, you know, we went to work, we did our maintenance, we did all this. We're not PTing, we're not fucking shooting guns all day. We're not doing all that. We're going to work, getting off, drinking 40s, and then going back to work the next day. When this uniform was uncomfortable, it was stupid. You had to blouse the bottoms and stuff like that. It felt like we were playing military instead of actually being in the military, and it was fucking stupid. I'm not gonna give it all the way an F, I'm gonna judge it harshly. I'm gonna give it an E. Andy?
That's
it was a good idea, but like, I don't know, poorly executed. I was thinking about it. I'm like, okay, yeah, I get like we want the blue, you know, thing going to against like the ship and the horizon and everything. So you won't see fucking us yahoos walking around, but like, you go overboard, it's just that much harder to find you. You're fucked. So like,
I know a guy who went overboard.
yeah, he's probably not here anymore.
Nope.
Yeah, because he was camouflaged into the water.
Disappointing.
Rest in peace though. But anyways, D, yeah.
Josh?
Man, they look really comfortable because of the blouse and everything.
If you need a minute,
top
it's
part
okay.
and go ahead. What? But I never got to experience these. My personal, I think they were like transitioning this when I was getting out. I was upset when they first came out with these. I was like, man, you know, that's what I like about the Navy. They've always had their own unique uniforms as opposed to other branches of the military. And I was like, I was just really against it, and I just didn't feel like that was the Navy thing. It looks too much like the Army or the Coast Guard or something like that. You know, I'm like, So I'm gonna give it down. Like I'm gonna give it like an E.
I feel like the people that designed these uniforms later on, maybe they didn't have a grandpa in the Navy or
Yeah.
Right.
I don't mean it as a joke either. I mean, like, to be dead serious, like maybe they just don't like, and that goes with a lot of
Tradition's
things
important.
in the world today. Like, a lot of people appreciate things that other people before them have appreciated, and then some people that might just not really give a fuck about it.
It was like an unnecessary uniform change for sure. Like they could have just updated the utilities.
Like utilities with jeans. Are you shitting me?
What is it now?
Dumb.
Who's next?
It's like slacks, but I'm just saying, like, it's almost like and you see this drastic change all of a sudden in like a certain year. It wasn't. I mean, it wasn't. Everything was very gradual, and then all of a sudden it was like, no, we're not going to tuck in our fucking shirts anymore, and we're going to wear digital camo. That way, our fat fucking high school kids don't look like they're fat fucking high school kids sailing the deck of the ship.
Shirt tucked in.
No, you had to look presentable. This goddamn blouse shit now? Come on, dude.
Oh, because you had to wear those t-shirts underneath is what I'm thinking about.
I mean,
and
like,
those had to be tucked in.
It's just so I don't know. It like that bothers me a whole lot. Not tucking in your shirt. I don't tuck in my shirt now, but I'm also not trying to like represent like an entire force of people. I'm trying to look like a dipshit from the 90s.
It was a bad attempt to look like the military.
Well, we're not done yet.
Yeah.
Who's next?
I'm sorry.
No, you're fine.
No, it's good.
Who's next? Drew?
I guess, yeah, are we going next? I'll go with the camos on the bottom there.
These are the updated version.
This is what
So
they
these
wear
are
now?
Yes.
This is worse.
Really, this is the current
Type 3.
working uniform for the U.S. Navy.
If I did my extensive research says yes.
Lord have mercy.
all right. So I work with students that are also like still in the military. So I know a couple of people who still wear this uniform, and I've seen pictures of this uniform. And one of the things that I really just like about this uniform is your rating badge is like right in the middle of your chest, and it's it's like black. So it stands out. It's ridiculous. It doesn't look like it makes sense at all. I think it's like one up from yeah, I don't even think it's on
like
that.
that little tag, it would go around that little tag.
Yeah, but it's
Like the army does that.
Their
yeah,
rank goes there though, not their rating.
I'll send you a
Yeah.
picture.
It's fine.
Yeah, it's your rank. It's the rank. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay.
I drank like 240s basically. So
Playing military, but
right.
anyways.
I don't. Okay, so I'm sorry. I'm going on a tangent. I don't mean to. I don't like this uniform at all. Again, I think it's a poor attempt to be like fake military. Like, just be the Navy. Give us our dress uniforms. We're sailors. We're not soldiers. This looks like a soldier's or a Marines uniform. I don't like it. Yeah, I'm gonna give this an E. Only because it's not blue.
Ari.
Yeah, it doesn't look like a Navy uniform. I think that's weird. So I don't like it, and I don't understand the digital camo over like regular camo anyways. So yeah, I'm gonna give it an F.
Sabrina.
All the reasons already said, F.
Same, all the reasons already said, except at least the other uniform was blue, which is Navy
thing.
like, I spent 10 years, I didn't fall off a boat, so at least I had a blue uniform. But F. Andy.
Yeah, I give it an E. I mean, like, it's ugly. Again, like, I get the idea, like, yeah, we should have like a cami uniform or something, kind of makes sense here in the military. Like, it's the nice thing about the camis in general is that like a pen mark or something, little like imperfections don't really show up because it's just kind of all blends into the material design in that respect. So like there's that, but it was really kind of didn't make any sense to have this, I don't even, weird like off-season woodland kind of thing going. So yeah, I don't know what they decided to do that for.
What was your rating?
E.
Josh. Josh, can't hear you.
Can't hear you.
Much like they hate to tell you, it looks like a Marine uniform, and the
Yeah.
Marines are a part of the Navy. So
They're a part
really
of us. We're not a part of them.
it really should be part of. It should be opposite. They should be dressing like us, not them dressing like us. But that looks horrible. That doesn't look like a Navy uniform at all.
What's your rating?
I'm gonna give that an F, man. F for fucked up.
Joe.
Yeah.
Joe.
An F for phony. It's a phony naval uniform.
Yeah.
It's a it's a
good
phony. It's a phony person that invented the idea of this uniform. This person has the person that brought this to the table. Definitely, there is no I guess any blood in the game.
Is that phony? F-O-N-E? Is that how you spell it?
F-O-N-E-Y.
Oh, F-O-N-E-Y.
Get it right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Josh, you can't even misspell phony.
Did we switch to these when it was the CMC under
What about swatting 1,000 files?
Get out of here, man. Get out of here,
Under Admiral
crazy
Richardson?
dickhead.
Crazy dickhead.
Last but not least, this is the dinner dress uniform. Ari, can you start us off?
Well, I've never seen this. What is the purpose of this uniform?
I've never seen this.
If you go to the Navy ball, you wear this uniform, and that's the only time you do it.
How do you go to the Navy
Never
ball?
seen anybody wear this uniform.
You could get married in this. There's
Also
for
yeah.
the fancy.
Would you pick this over your dress blues to get married in? No.
Could you wear this over your dress? Like, could you? Like,
It was you wore it for
this
like
is
it
for
was like
like
literally the Navy ball because you
Did
would
you
wear the
have
mini
it?
medals
Okay.
and yeah,
Right.
like it's a
If-
weird thing.
Hate that
it's
bullshit.
for fancy functions.
But you
Yeah.
you didn't have to have it.
No.
Yeah, you were never issued it. If you wanted it, you bought it.
And then, okay, I have more questions, but I won't ask them now. I give it an F. It's weird.
Sabrina.
I've never seen this in person. I was never privy to those fancy events. So F. It looks uncomfortable on the dude. I'm sure it's like twice as uncomfortable on a woman. So F all the way.
Yeah, this is for fancy functions. Really like Joe Navy ding dongs would wear this to their, seaman apprentice Doobie would wear this to his marrying his high school sweetheart. And
Probably not though,
cheesy.
because like you would have had to buy it, and so you
Yeah.
didn't have the money.
Despite its cheesiness and stuff, I'll just give it a solid C. It's still a uniform.
No, I testified in court while I was in the Navy, and they just made me wear my regular dress blues.
Fancy.
Yeah, I think
it's not. You're thinking
females just didn't
You
have
know-
a dinner dress uniform.
Well, I mean, it
They
feels
just went
really
to the
formal to
mini
be in a
medals.
courtroom, so I was curious.
not formal, fancy. There's a difference.
Okay.
Andy.
Right.
It was kind of an extra like uniform that nobody's ever really seen. We've heard legends of this uniform, so to speak, but not even really good legends, just like, hey, this is a thing that exists, that if you want to spend money for no reason on a uniform, go for it. I'll give it a D.
Nobody wants that.
Josh.
all right. I agree with Andy. I'm gonna give it a D too.
Oh, Joe.
Whoa.
Due to the fact that I think that if I ever talked to somebody that was wearing this uniform, I would automatically think they're a fucking Fed. E. There's no way there's a second class corpsman that's wearing this thing anywhere near a guy like me for any other reason than to, I don't know, honeypot me or something.
Drew.
I'm with you, Adam. I think this is like seaman recruit Schmuckatelli getting married to the fucking sea cow that he met that has 4 kids already that he marries. I'm gonna give this D for dickhead, because you are a dickhead if you wear this uniform and you are
Schmuckatelli.
enlisted. I get if like officers want to wear fancy shit, but for enlisted, nope. Sorry, bro. Wear that dress uniform, because it's called dress uniform.
Yeah.
Just
You
to
don't
wrap-
get paid that enough. You don't get paid enough as second class to have a uniform like that.
Hell no.
No.
Or even a reason to wear it.
It's like a bad
Who are
suit.
you?
Who wants
Who
to
the
wear
fuck
that
are
bad
you that
suit?
you're going? You do, that's what I'm saying, dude. You're not a real fucking sailor, dude. You're a fucking federal agent plant.
Just to,
Try
a
it.
quick recap. S tier, we got the Navy coveralls. A tier, we got the dress blues and the dress whites. B tier, we got the dungarees, the old school dungarees. The low B, high C, we got Navy utilities. C tier, we got the working blues, I guess.
Johnny Cash.
Yeah, John Cash.
D tier, we got the working whites. Low D, high E, we got the Navy PT uniform and the black and tans. E tier, we got the Navy working uniform type 1s and the dinner dress blues. And then low E, high F, we got the NWUs type 2 or 3. I forget where we're at. That went on a little longer than expected. Do you guys want to?
We didn't have to do so many.
Yeah.
I thought it'd be like, this uniform sucks. D.
You don't know your
Have you met
No.
any of us before?
I know, right? Like, I think it
You
was,
thought it was
hey,
gonna happen, and you invited Josh.
I think it was great. First of
No,
all,
you guys
but
Oh,
talked
it
for
was
like
an awesome
3 hours
time.
about
Yeah.
nothing.
Do you want to keep going, or do you guys want to wrap it up? Because I got more.
I wanted to actually maybe take a tangent real quick and talk about the precise way to wear a Dixie cup.
All the way forward, just above your brow, and then you have to have a little spot in your
Yeah,
But
you
what
do
about how
the-
do you store your Dixie cup?
Oh, you got
Do you do a curl with a rubber band on it to keep it
I don't
tight
do
down?
You just crush
That's
it
the
in
fleet
half and
rolls.
stick it in your back pocket.
See, I was always so jealous that I didn't need a Dixie cup for anything. That
Oh,
was
I rolled mine halfway down, so that always kept a nice
Oh yeah,
crease
yeah,
in-
yeah, yeah.
Yep. Yeah, rolled
I mean-
halfway down. Never.
And if you
never
had your
rolled it.
if you had your division number on there, you're a fucking baller.
Your division from boot camp?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
man.
yeah, hell yeah. I
Aw,
might still have that shit.
I'm so jealous.
Don't they?
Dixie
Aren't
cup.
the women? Don't they wear Dixie cups now though?
Yeah, it's dumb.
Do they now? I don't know.
Gigantic
Those stupid
bum size
hats are
ones to fit
dumb.
over like buns.
I
I'm
agree.
gonna go get mine and show you all how dumb it is.
No, I don't think anyone thinks
I know
that-
you guys hated it because like it was a pain in the ass to keep clean and everything else, but you know.
It lost its shape. You couldn't just fold it and
Kitty
put it in your
hat.
pocket.
It probably cost 3 times more than the
It was
fucking.
Oh, I know.
expensive. And
Well,
they
what
would
do you
fly
want
off
to
your
do?
head because there was so much brim. It would just like if it was a windy day, which it's always a windy day, it would just whoop, go away. So you had to like walk around holding it on your head. Fucking hate that hat so much.
I mean, I'd probably wear a Dixie cup right now. Is all I'm saying. As a hat, come on.
They seem casual, cool. Popeye wore them. That sounds good.
Yeah,
Popeye. Also,
Like
and-
Gilligan,
Near
just
water?
pull it down, you know.
If
Real
you're in a
quick,
lake-
Fucking hat.
real quick before I forget. Thank you for listening and watching. If you want to comment on these uniforms, leave some comments down below.
Yeah, we should definitely post the ranking thing kind of up on the
Yeah.
social.
Once again, drinking out of my koozie. Mickey's. Classic malt liquor. I don't know if you were a child in the 90s, you know what I'm talking about. I can't give it anything less than 4. Sabrina,
What are the ratings on this? I've never done
2.5
this.
using
Bottle caps, yeah.
I don't think I've ever drank this before. It's a Mickey's also, like I said earlier. Adam purchased it and gifted it to me in my delightful paper crunched bag. It's a lot of beer. It's a little unnecessary for me on a whatever the Monday night this is. It doesn't taste bad. It's not stellar, but it definitely gets the job done at 5.6 ABV, and it's the right serving size. Like if I had
it's not the
nowhere
right
to
serving
go,
size.
but like if I was gonna go, this is the amount of beer I would drink over the course of an entire evening. I would just get this one can and hang on to it all night long. Just nurse it, and it'd be great. So I'm gonna go ahead and give it a 4 because it feels like a real crowd pleaser to me.
Andy, remind everybody what you're
Yep.
drinking. And
I'm drinking 40 ounces of champagne of beers, Miller High Life. Nearly killed it. I'll probably finish it here at the end to toast. But yeah, it's 4.6 ABV. I just found that as I was examining the label. It's for classy individuals, you know. It's the High Life. It's a 4.0 beer, malt liquor, whatever, you know. Yeah.
who's next? Joe? Can't hear you.
Can't hear you. No, I heard yay.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So, like I said earlier, I had the Mickey's 40 in a glass bottle, and again, fantastic friggin' beer. And let me tell you what, I am just so excited that some people that didn't have Mickey's before had Mickey's today, and they decided that they are totally not against Mickey's, maybe not really into it, but open to the idea of Mickey's being a part of their life. And for that, I'm gonna give my Mickey's fine malt liquor 40 ounce a 4.5 enthusiastic thumbs up stars, Dixie cups,
Bottle caps, whatever.
Admiral hats.
I want to say piss cutters again.
Piss cutters. Well,
Josh.
actually,
Oh man. All right. So I did some research while I was doing the podcast. And somebody has actually captured all 50 different Mickey liquor bottle caps and is selling them on eBay.
what?
Yeah. Anyways.
So I don't have to drink all the beers in order to get all the bottle caps.
Right.
I can just buy them.
That Mickey's shit is the bomb.
No fun in that.
Mm.
I'm gonna go with Joe myself. Yeah, I got the hiccups really bad.
Hell yeah.
Mickey's or what? But
That's 100% from the
He
Mickey.
did drink like 20 ounces of head.
It's not
so.
not from the Mickey's.
anyways,
For the Mickeys?
I'm malt liquor. Mickey's is a shit, dude. It's the best. It's bussin'. That's what the kids say these days. It's bussin'. So I'm gonna give it a 4.52, man.
Man,
It ain't the best beer I have, but it's damn good.
it's really bringing out your Riz, Josh.
It's oh yeah, that's a new word, right? The Riz.
Drew and Ari.
All right, so I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna give Miller High Life a 5 bottle caps, especially as the 32-ounce beer. I'll tell you what, you can't go wrong with the champagne of beer. It is classy. And if you're at any party and you reach into a cooler and you pick out a 32-ounce can of Mickey's, you ain't saying no. I'll tell you that much.
Is it like a thicker can or is it like a regular beer can? Like as far as the can?
Did I say Mickey's? I'm at High Life. Yeah, but
It's
it's
huge,
a regular can, man. It's gigantic. It's a gigantic normal can. The opening is normal size. I feel like a giant drinking this. It's great, man. I can't complain. Five bottle caps, dude. Any day I'll drink this.
Okay. No one wants to hear about the ABVs on Miller High Life. And I feel like everyone knows what this beer tastes like. I don't need to review it. I drank less than 1/10 of it in the time we did this podcast, and I'd rather be drinking Coors Light. I give it, I don't know, a 2.
And that's mostly because the mountains turn blue, right?
Yeah, the mountains turn blue and Coors is good.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite parts about Coors. Yeah.
That is a really cool thing about Coors Light. I'm not gonna lie.
Pioneering beer technology, man.
Color changing cups and cans. It's awesome.
Definitely a plus.
Well, Sabrina, Ari, thank you for joining us.
Weighing in on uniforms.
If you're listening to the podcast, we want to thank you as well. Please like, subscribe, and share.
I have one more thing I'd like to add.
Go for it.
Don't judge us on the fact that we've all been drinking malt liquor for the last like 2 hours, and these beer reviews are definitely skewed in such a way that it ruins, I think, the quality of the rest of the reviews we've had. Really good beers.
Wait, you guys are always drinking when you're
Mickey's is awesome, man.
Mickey's is pretty good.
Gosh, it's party.
Don't get me wrong, but there's not a lot of love getting put into each individual bottle of Mickey's.
We weren't rating the love in the bottle.
There's a lot of love coming out of each individual
Are they
bottle.
sponsoring anybody big
40
these
ounces.
days or anything?
Why are you wearing the hat from the middle school you teach at? Band or whatever it is.
Actually, this is the band hat from the college that I went to. I went to their surplus sale and got this sweet hat.
What's going on right now?
Finish your
Okay,
thought,
Let's
Joseph.
wrap it up. Let's wrap it up. We're out of here.
Quick fireside chat.
Oh
And-
yeah.
Yeah. I'd say, the Spotify playlist, for sure. Check that out. Follow us on socials. Like, share, subscribe. We appreciate everybody that does at least listen. If you don't share or anything else like that, but you're at least tuning in. Good hanging out with my brothers. Yeah, I've just been, improv and D&D are emerging. I'm in the middle of a D&D improv workshop. It's pretty awesome. It's everything I hope it was going to be and more. Grad shows coming up for that in August, so hopefully share the videos or something from that and everything. And whatever Josh is doing is it's great. And also really the rating for anybody drinking a 40 should have been 4.0 to play on the 40, but
Oh yeah, that would have been good.
Thanks,
but yeah,
Andy.
What We Do in the Shadows is back on. Justified City of Primeval is cool too so far. So yeah.
For our two new people, Fireside Chat is just quick 2-minute talk about anything unrelated to the podcast. I just want to say two things. I'm starting a Sega Genesis cartridge collection, starting from the beginning to the end, and I'm also been going to thrift stores and picking up vintage video game T-shirts, and it's kind of fun. Sabrina, what do you got?
Well, nothing really. I don't like telling people what to watch or what to do, but we went to a record store and I saw this record.
Trampled by Turtles. Turtles.
Oh yeah, we saw Trampled by Turtles at a Chateau Michel out here. It was super fun. And then I was reminded of a record that a young gentleman I worked with previously told me about called King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard, and it is super fun music.
I hope
King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard.
Yep. I wrote it down to make sure I would remember it properly. Look them up. It's really fun. If you like metal music, especially. Yeah, I don't know. Everybody be kind. It doesn't hurt to be kind and take care of yourselves and set those boundaries. And yeah, that's it. Those are my general advice pieces.
Josh?
You're listening to KEXP.
Man, I always focus on mental health and keeping yourself healthy physically and mentally. If you gotta take those mental health breaks, mental health days, no shame in that. We gotta take days off to get our body back in line. We gotta take days off to get our mind back in line. So
Amen.
I don't know. My thing is, always keep learning, always keep filling that mind full of something. And that's all I got.
Perfect.
Good night, guys.
I'm up.
Yep.
All right. I just finished Ted Lasso. The whole thing, it's pretty good, I guess. It's all right. It's good. It's good. I mean, I think people will get, different things from Ted Lasso than other people will. I like watching mostly because of the constant references to the state of Kansas. So that's kind of fun. You don't get them very often, so we'll take them when we can get them. It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia just wrapped up. If you're not watching that show and it's been this long, I don't know if I can help you. I mean, if you just watch the first 6 seasons,
just the first 6 seasons.
Yeah,
no big deal.
Just do it, and you'll probably watch
any
the rest
season
of them
because they're all equally good.
They're not all equally good. That is incorrect. But
I'd say they are.
there are
Well,
some that are
consistently good.
There are very consistently good seasons
Yeah.
all the way around for sure. I like that. I think Invincible's getting ready to like get fired back up. Is that
Hope so.
true? Or is that I watched the
I hope so.
the one about the Adam Eve. There's a new thing on Amazon about Adam Eve from that show. If anyone's watched it, I don't know. Is that I see Ari shaking her head. She's like, "Yeah, I think I know that."
We saw it like popped up for us, and I was like, "Ooh, we have to watch that."
But you guys have watched the show then?
Yeah.
There's a whole
Okay.
bunch of Fireside Chat rule violations right now.
Oh
I'm
shit!
just
Sorry.
responding to Joe. I was told not
Also,
to.
last thing, Transformers with the gorilla robot, the Maximals.
Rise of the Beast or whatever.
Yeah, it's not very good. But you know, hey man, watch it anyway because it's got a gorilla Optimus Primal. We've all
Right.
wanted to see it. They finally gave it to us. Just go see it. It's not in the theaters, by the way. You have to like buy it on digital.
It wasn't the
You
theaters,
lost
though.
me like 5 minutes ago, Joe.
Yeah, it was in the theaters for like a month. No, I'm sorry, 3 days, and then it was just back. Then it was instantly on
HBO.
DVD. So it's fucking ridiculous how bad this movie is, but we wanted it. So
I don't know what just happened.
What movie are we talking about?
That's
Transformers with the Maximals.
Rise of the Beast or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, we all wanted Optimus Primal. We
Like,
were
I know
begging
you
for
just
it.
said it, but I already forgot what it is.
That's
Ari, Ari, it's time for your 2 minutes of 2 minutes of uninterrupted chat about
minutes.
anything unrelated to the podcast. Go for it.
okay. Cool. So unrelated to the podcast, there's a new Greta Van Fleet album that is outstanding. And if you're not listening to it, you should totally listen to it because it's great. And you have to listen to it really loud and on repeat a lot, but it's really good. And we've been watching a lot of Star Trek, Strange New Worlds, super good, classic, Enterprise, classic. Like every episode is its own story, so you could like jump in anywhere. Just very Next Generation feel, except with Pike and Spock, and it's highly recommend. Really good. And this week we are kid free, so we're not going to the grocery store, and basically have been eating as much Italian food as we can. Currently is like our thing, so we're just like, we ate at Macaroni Grill. When's the last time you went to Macaroni Grill? You should go.
It's been like 2
When
years
I was
at
like
least.
14.
Right? Yeah. Okay.
Pembroke?
So they still write their name on the, paper tablecloth upside down. Still got that skill going on for their serving staff. Food was great. Drank some wine. Go back to a Macaroni Grill. It's worth it.
Drew.
So yeah, as Josh said, take care of yourselves mentally, talk to whoever you need to, reach out to anyone. People are willing to help you for sure. In other news, NFL football is going to be starting soon. The Dolphins are definitely going to win the Super Bowl this year. I'll tell you what.
What are we gonna do when the Dolphins win the Super Bowl?
You said
Sorry,
that
interrupted.
last year in the podcast.
Important.
I
This
did
is
say
important.
it last year. However, when they do win the Super Bowl this year, me and Ari are getting Miami Dolphin tattoos.
Oh God.
So look out for that.
On your foreheads.
You heard it here.
To
No,
never
of
get
course
a-
not.
Drew's Crocs are coming.
So yeah, so Dolphins to the Super Bowl, as always. But with NFL season coming, I'm going to throw this out there. I think that we need to do a fantasy football season or a league here for the Average GI Joe podcast. So I'm going to challenge you all because I'm in and I'm going to whoop all of your asses. I don't give a shit who you are. I'm taking you down. I'm number one. Fuck yeah. That's it.
Challenge accepted. Hey.
That is some powerful confidence.
Right.
What do you got to do to win?
Thanks everybody again for listening. Thanks for our guests for coming on, and thank you guys for continually joining me in these discussions every month. That's it for me. Say good night, everybody.
Good night,
Good
everybody.
night.
Good
Night, everybody.
night.